nationwide job. I got the nationwide job.
Yeah, what?
I got the nationwide job.
Oh, you got the job.
Yeah, they called me this morning.
They paid no attention to my reference, which said don't do it. I did. Oh. Shh. That was just broadcast on the internet. That would be useless. So the whole world knows it.
I like it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم المجاهدون في سبيل الله والمستضعفين من الرجال والنساء والبلدان الذين يقولون ربنا أخرجنا من هذه القرية الظالم أهلها واجعل لنا من لدنك وليا واجعل لنا من لدنك نصيرا. And what reason have you not to fight in the way of Allah for the weak among men and women and the women and the children, who say, Our Lord, take us out of this town whose people are oppressors, and grant us a friend and a helper. This is chapter 4, verse 75. The next verse is from chapter 65, verse 6. I'll only read the first phrase because that is the only part that is relevant to today's khutbah. Askinuhunna min haythu sakantum min wajdikum wa la tudaruhunna litudayyihu alayhin. And house them where you live according to your means, and injure them not to change them. This is about women. And this khutbah is in the light of the recent events and the sentence handed down to the murderer of Sarah Everard. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad, he said, narrated Aisha, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, never beat anyone, even with your hand, neither a woman nor a servant. And then in another place it says, an honorable man treats women with honor and integrity, and only a mean, deceitful, and dishonest person, a dishonest man, humiliates and insults women. Referring to physical abuse, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, never hit your wives. They are your partners and your sincere helpers. He exemplified this by never ever hitting a woman or a child himself. And the Prophet guaranteed protection of life, honor, and property for women. See, some people say that they mistranslate or misinterpret a verse of the Holy Quran, and then they say, oh look, hitting wives is allowed here. If that is the case, then why did the Holy Prophet Muhammad say, never hit your wives? Was he telling people to do something that was against the Holy Quran? But let's carry on. Now, I'm not going to talk about now. I'm going to talk about a judge who lived between 1491, like around the time, the 17th century fatwa of Uthmani scholar Abdul Saud who lived between 1491 and 17, yes, that can't be his date of birth. Something's gone wrong in my typing. Anyway, according to this, he lived for 300 years. I know men used to be healthy and strong, but I don't think they lived for 300 years even at that time. So, his fatwa, the question that was put to him, Zad hurts his wife Hind in many ways. If the Qazi knows about it, is he able to separate Hind from Zad? And the answer he gave was, he's able to prevent his hurting her by whatever means possible. And in 1687, in the Sharia court of Aleppo, a woman brought a case against an abusive husband. And the judgment that was given was this. It was in May 1687 that Fatma bint Haji Ali filed a lawsuit against her husband, saying that he was abusing her. He hit her with a stick on her body and on her mouth, causing her mouth to bleed. She claimed that he was constantly abusive. That this is verbally abusive. And she brought 5 witnesses. The court didn't just reprimand the husband. The court reprimanded the abusive husband, but ordered that he should be lashed. But ordered that he should be given corporal punishment. For what crime? For the crime of hitting his wife. Now, I've selected these examples. There are many others. There is one famous one from Spain, which I couldn't find the exact reference this morning, where a woman went to the court and said to the judge, to the Qadi, that her husband had forced himself on her. And the Qadi punished her husband under the verse of the Holy Quran, which says, if you call someone injury, then you need to be punished. And the husband's defense was that the verse of the Holy Quran means physical injury. And the judge disagreed. He said, by forcing yourself on your wife, the psychological harm that you have caused is much greater than any physical harm that you could have inflicted. Now, we are talking about several hundred years ago, when, if these incidents took place, the judges would rule in women's favor and even punish the husbands. You heard one where the judge said that the punishment was that the husband should be taken out and corporal punishment inflicted upon him. What has happened, sadly, since then, that this violence within the family, outside the family, has become common both among Muslim families and non-Muslim families. And I give you 2 examples. Someone in Pakistan asked her great nephew to go and get him a glass of water, which he did. But when he came out, after a few minutes, he said, why did you insult me? And the lady said, how did I insult you? I just asked you for a glass of water. And he said, it's a woman's place to be in the kitchen. Then I had to go into the kitchen to get you a glass of water. And, I feel insulted and humiliated. If this is the example that you're setting your children, what do you expect? Upbringing, education starts in the home. There's another example, my personal example. I was in the kitchen washing up, and there was the doorbell rang, and a relative of ours was in the sitting room. So he went and first he came and closed the kitchen door. And then he went and opened the door, and someone came in, and I heard people talking. So I went in, and I said, oh, okay, I'm just finishing. I'll be another 5 minutes, and I'll put the dishes away, and then I'll come and talk to you. And when this man had gone, my relative said, if you have no feeling for your own honor, at least have some consideration for my honor. Then I said, what did I do? Your friend came, I gave him tea and so on and so forth. And he said, no, I closed the kitchen door so that my friend wouldn't see you doing the washing up. And you just came out and said, I'm doing the washing up and I'll be 5 minutes after I put the dishes away. Where did this guy get this idea from? It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in America or United Kingdom or Pakistan or Saudi Arabia. Generally, people see that women are being treated as objects to satisfy men's desires. And when they see this is how they're going to behave. Frequently, you hear a husband say to his wife, she may or may not have made a mistake, God, you're stupid. And when the kids hear that, when the sons hear that, when the daughters hear that, what message is it giving them? That verbal violence, verbal abuse is allowed, and that women are stupid compared to men. Well, for men, I have very bad news. Actually, some of you might know that I used to give private tuition, and all my girls students performed much better in their GCSEs and A-levels compared to the boys that I was tutoring. So, just think on that. But this idea that women are only there to be at men's beck and call, that, their only objective in life is to cook and clean after their husbands. This isn't Islamic. This is what you teach your children. And unless you teach your children to respect girls and respect women, they won't do it. Recently there was a survey, and a large number of girls in secondary schools complained about harassment, sexual harassment. And these are, shockingly, some were even in primary school. But where did these secondary school kids, these teenagers, get this idea that women are fair game? Well, it starts in the home. It starts on television, where women are sexualized. Tell me, you go to the London Motor Show, and Jaguar or some other car company have launched a new car model. Why do they have a half-naked girl draped across its body? What does she add to the beauty or whatever of that car. Whatever car company it is sexualizing women. It's degrading them. Why couldn't they have a man? Why couldn't they have a man in his underwear draped across the bonnet of the car? These are subliminal messages going out to men. This is all women are good for. You are using women's bodies to sell your products. And then that advertisement is shown on the television. And the dad sits there and says, oh, look, beautiful car and so on. And the kids are there listening, boys and girls. What message are they drawing from the father's comments and that advertisement being shown on television? The message is that, this is all girls are good for. If they're fair game for a car company to strip them of their clothes and drape them semi-naked across the bonnet of their car, why can't he do it when he goes back to school? Why can't he do it? Well, the reason is obvious. By draping that woman across the bonnet of that car, the TV company that runs that ad makes money. The people who make that ad make money. The car company makes money. And in that quest, in that rush to make money, women's dignity and honor, is trodden upon. And no one raises an eyelid. No one raises their hand to say why. The survey that was done, I think someone, BBC or someone set up an anonymous website where you could log on and describe your experiences, with secondary school kids. And they were staggered and astonished. And it's the same all over the world. In Pakistan, a girl's car breaks down on the motorway. She rings for help. 3 men come, drag her out of the car and rape her. And the police officer's comment is, well, why was she traveling at night? Well, why not? The Holy Quran says that about women, injure them not, nor try and change them. You want to bring in an Islamic government. How about bringing in a government that protects women? And sadly, when the government tried to do that, religious people were up in arms. But then there's another side to the coin, and that is that, perhaps some people will get upset by this, and that is that girls and women should also be careful. It's a dangerous world out there. And they need to be careful in the way they dress, the time when they go out, the place where they go out. And I know many girls have responded when I've said this by saying it shouldn't happen. Yes, I know it shouldn't happen, but it does happen. If I leave the door of my house open, unlocked, and someone comes and burgles it, And I called the police, and the police come, and I said, well, I only left the door open. This shouldn't happen. The burglar didn't have my permission to come into my house and take my belongings. What will the police say? Their reaction will be exactly the same. We know it shouldn't happen, but it does happen. And there is an old maxim which says that prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. And that's what people should do. But the first thing, the most important thing that I urge all parents in their homes and all schools is to stress that women are individuals in their own right. God did not create them simply for men's sexual gratification. They are worthy and valuable individuals, and they can and do contribute to all walks of life. And men who behave in this way, they bring shame upon their religion, upon their country, upon their gender. But most of all, unless parents and teachers in home and in school show by practical examples that this is unacceptable behavior, like that judge did. Okay, so you hit your wife. Let's see how you feel when you were caned in the public square. You know, any boy who sexually harasses a girl, strip him of his clothes and march him naked throughout the school and see how he feels. So please, my plea is, let's start training our children, boys and girls, to respect each other. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'anil Azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim innahu ta'ala jawadun kareemun malikun barrufur rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
Ready?
اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ اشہد ان محمد رسول اللہ حی علی الصلاۃ حی علی الفلاح قد قامت الصلاۃ قد قامت الصلاۃ اللہ اکبر لا الہ الا اللہ اللہ اکبر الحمد للہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین آمین اذا جاء نصر اللہ والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا اللہ اکبر سمع اللہ لمن حمدہ
ربنا
اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر الحمد للہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین
آمین
تبت یدا ابی لہب وتب ما اغنى عنه ماله وما كسب وامرأته حمالة الحطب سيصلى تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد اللہ اکبر سمع اللہ لمن حمدہ
ربنا
اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. This is the end of our broadcast for our Friday service. Those who might have been confused by the extra sajda in the second rakah, that was because I had missed out one verse of the chapter that I was reciting in the second rakah, and I made a mistake. So that is called the prostration of repentance, that you ask forgiveness for the mistake that you made. Our next broadcast is on Saturday, tomorrow, at 2 p.m. UK time. It's a group on WhatsApp called Pure Discussions, when the topic will be, it's in Urdu, the topic we'll be discussing would be Muslim attitude to the British rule in India. I hope you'll join us then. And then, of course, on Monday, we'll restart our reflections on the Holy Quran. We had some technical difficulties, which meant that we, after Monday, we couldn't continue our broadcasts. So I hope you weren't too disappointed. With the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, regardless of your religion, your sect, your nationality, your caste, creed, or color, may Allah keep the whole of humanity under His protection and save everyone from harm. Assalamu alaikum. Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.